Hi, everyone. For context, I am an 18-year-old female, and I got into the University of Virginia, UVA, and the College of William and Mary, W&M. UVA was one of my top schools for the longest time because I thought it was prestigious, and it was pretty good for business since that is what I am majoring in. However, I applied to other schools that I would go to besides UVA, in case I had gotten rejected. I mainly applied to schools within my state and nearby states. I got into UVA, and that was exciting. On the contrary, the price tag was not attractive. I would have to pay tens of thousands of dollars per year to go to UVA. On the other hand, I got accepted to W&M with a full ride and a research grant, which would look very good to graduate schools and potential jobs. Additionally, I would get the newest dorms available because I got the specific research grant. I told my parents my options, and they still want me to go to UVA because it is better for business. My parents said not to worry about money, but I do not want to be financially tied to them because they might take away my tuition or have control over my life since they are quite religious and conservative. I toured both campuses, and I honestly liked W&M better because it was less busy compared to UVA, and no student debt. Also, everyone was more helpful and friendly to me at W&M when I toured, and the tour was actually led by someone whereas UVA's tour was self-led. Overall, I just liked the feeling of W&M better. Now my parents are very disappointed in me choosing W&M and trying to get me to change my decision. They are saying that I am selfish, careless, and too young to be making major life decisions. However, I asked all of my counselors, teachers, my smartest peers, and just about everyone said they would choose W&M, given my decisions. I tried to explain to my parents that undergrad does not matter, and that I'll go to business school anyways after college university. They are still firm on their decision because they are immigrants who worked hard to give me the best possibilities and to take the largest opportunity, which is UVA. They say money isn't a problem, but I am not comfortable with the decision. They keep sending me statistics about how UVA is ranked higher and all of that, and are guilt-tripping me trying to change my mind. They have been crying nonstop about my decision. I haven't committed yet. But honestly, I think they just want bragging rights that I go to UVA. So Reddit, am I the idiot for choosing to go to my choice of university college over my parents' preferences? Any help would be appreciated because they won't support me anymore, and I will be disowned if I go through with my decision. Thank you. Edit. Thank you all for your support. It means a lot going through such a stressful time. To answer some questions, I will be majoring in business with a concentration in finance, and also double major with either statistics or math. I plan to get an internship or job after college and have work experience and eventually get my MBA, hopefully. So the cost of UVA for 4 years is about $80,000 plus, and W&M has no loans attached to it either. Everything will be paid for by the scholarship or grants. Also, W&M accepts more of my AP credits if that helps, LOL. Additionally, we are South Asian, LOL. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. Thomas Jefferson went to William and Mary. It is a prestigious school. It is a great choice for all the reasons you stated. No student debt is fantastic. Now you get to set your boundaries and do life the way you want and not the way your parents want. Let them lament. This is your life. It is crazy that they would disown you over this. That's a threat ultimatum that you do need to consider. If you do give in to them, then they will use that threat over you for the rest of your life. You may need to stand up to them now and go through a few years of turmoil. I am so sorry they are putting you in this position. Comment 2. Not the idiot. All of your reasoning is sound, you like the school better. You are absolutely right that your undergrad isn't as important in terms of prestige as your graduate program. And a full ride to college is a literal dream that you'll be so glad you took when all of your friends are talking about their loans in 5 years. You are absolutely right to be concerned about tying your future debt to your parents' whims if they can't even let you make such an obvious choice without freaking out. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks so much for all the comments and support on my last post. It really means a lot to me during this challenging time. So it's been pretty up and down couple of weeks since I last updated you all. After a lot of soul-searching and difficult conversations with my parents, I ultimately decided to commit to William and Mary. It wasn't an easy choice, but deep down, I knew it was the right one for me. When I broke the news to my parents, they were devastated. They couldn't understand why I would turn down the opportunity to go to UVA, a school they saw as far more prestigious. My mom cried for hours, saying I was throwing away my future. My dad got angry, accusing me of being ungrateful for all the sacrifices they've made for me. It was heartbreaking to see them so upset, but I tried my best to calmly explain my reasoning. I told them how the full-ride scholarship and research grant at W&M would set me up for success without the burden of student loans. I described how welcomed I felt on the W&M campus tour and how the smaller class sizes appealed to me. But no matter what I said, they remained convinced I was making a huge mistake. The tension at home has been evident ever since. My parents barely speak to me except to express their disappointment or try to change my mind. Family dinners, which used to be a time to relax and catch up, have turned into heated debates about my college decision. It's been really tough emotionally. I've been coping by throwing myself into preparing for college. I've connected with some other incoming freshmen at W&M online, and it's been comforting to talk to people going through the same exciting but nerve-wracking transition. I've also been reading everything I can about the business program and planning which classes to take. Focusing on the future helps take my mind off the present family drama. But there have been some really painful moments, too. Last weekend, we visited my aunt and uncle, and I overheard my mom crying to my aunt about how she feels like a failure as a parent because of my decision. It shattered my heart. I desperately want my parents to be proud of me, but not at the expense of doing what I believe is right for my education and future. I keep thinking back to when I was a little girl, and my parents would tell me stories of how hard they worked to build a life for our family in this country. They didn't have the opportunities I have now. While I understand their perspective, I wish they could see that I'm not taking my education for granted. I'm just trying to make the smartest choice for myself and my circumstances. So that's where things stand now. In just a few short months, I'll be moving to Williamsburg to start this new chapter. I'm excited, but also nervous, especially without my parents' support. I'm holding on to the hope that with time, they'll come around and realize I'm not turning my back on them or their sacrifices. I'm just trying to carve my own path. Fingers crossed. Thanks again for letting me vent and for all the encouragement. It helps more than you know. I'll keep you posted on how freshman year goes. Am I the idiot for refusing to share my late mother's belongings with my half-sister, who believed we had the same mom? I, 30-year-old female, have a half-sister, 23-year-old female, who will be getting married sometime in 2025. Half-sister is my dad's child. She's actually the child he had after an affair while married to my mom. My parents divorced when my mom learned dad had cheated on her, and things became more tense after she found out the person he cheated with had gotten pregnant. My dad told her that the other woman was out of the picture, and my mom could have the second child she always wanted, and we could be a family. I was there for part of the conversation, because Dad wanted me to be excited for a sibling and thought it would win my mom over. My mom stood firm with Dad. Dad would tell my half-sister that we had the same mom. He would talk like that around me and tell me to shut it when I told him to stop lying. He also told me Mom could be a kind person and step up for a child who had no mother. According to him, the affair partner found someone else to be the affair partner of and didn't want to know my half-sister. When I was 11, my mom died. So I went to live with Dad. About a year later, Dad got married. But even after he got married, he taught my half-sister that my mom was her mom. I will say that any hope we had of a relationship was ended by my dad doing this because she wouldn't believe me when I told her she had a different mom. And she hated me for not giving her photos and stuff of moms, and for not making my family acknowledge her as their granddaughter, like I was acknowledged. My dad's wife never became a mom to my half-sister, even though she admitted to desperately wanting one because she was so hung up on my mom. Mom left me everything, and my grandparents took care of the stuff for me until I became independent. I wore some of Mom's wedding jewelry on my wedding day, as well as her veil. I didn't invite my dad or any of his family, including my half-sister, but she saw photos. So she reached out to me on social media and told me she wanted some of Mom's stuff for her wedding, and I said no. She told me now is not the time to be selfish, and I told her she's entitled to nothing and she'll have to find other things to wear. She called me names, and I told her Dad should really have admitted the truth to her by now. She said she didn't know why I was so adamant she wasn't Mom's kid. And it's not fair because I got to be raised by Mom for 11 years while she got nothing, and for no reason at all. Afterward, my dad's wife reached out and told me how upset my half-sister was and asked me to please consider giving something because Dad really messed her over, and she feels hated by Mom and by me. My half-sister messaged again after this and told me I was being really unfair to her and how I made Mom's abandonment of her even worse. Am I the idiot? ETA. Making it clear, my mom never met my half-sister, and vice versa. My mom did not want to meet her or be in her life. Now for a few comments before the update, comment 1, not the idiot. It's best if you do not lend her any of your mom's things, as there's a high chance that you'll never see them again. It's unfortunate that your dad lied to her for so many years, but she's old enough to understand the situation now. It's not your responsibility to heal wounds that you didn't make. Comment 2. Not the idiot, but has she never seen her birth certificate? Surely her mother is named on there? I second what a lot of people are saying. Tell her if she gets a DNA test proving you are maternal siblings, then you'll share some of your mother's stuff with her. Since that's impossible, she'll have to face facts. Now for the update. Hey everyone, it's been a while since my last post and a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks. First off, I want to thank you all for your support and advice on my previous post. It really helped me gain some perspective on the situation with my half-sister. So a few days after my last post, my half-sister reached out to me again. This time she apologized for her previous messages and said she realized she had been unfair to me. She admitted that she had always known deep down that my mom wasn't her mom, but she had clung to the idea because it was easier than facing the truth. She said she was sorry for putting me in such a difficult position, and that she understood why I couldn't give her any of my mom's things. I was surprised by her apology, but I appreciated it. I told her that I understood how hard it must have been for her growing up without a mother, and with our dad lying to her. I also said that while I couldn't give her any of my mom's things, I was open to trying to build a relationship with her if she wanted to. We ended up talking on the phone for a while, and she opened up to me about how much our dad's lies had affected her. She said she had always felt like something was missing in her life, and she had hoped that by claiming my mom as her own, she could fill that void. She also told me that our dad's wife had never really been a mother figure to her, which I hadn't realized before. After our conversation, I felt like I understood my half-sister a bit better. I could see how much pain and confusion our dad had caused her, and I felt bad for not being more empathetic before. A few days later, my dad's wife reached out to me again. She apologized for enabling our dad's lies and for not being there for my half-sister the way she should have been. She said she regretted not stepping up as a mother figure and that she wanted to make things right. I appreciated her apology, but I also felt a bit angry. I couldn't help but think that if she had been more honest with my half-sister from the beginning, maybe things wouldn't have gotten so messy. But I also realized that she was in a difficult position too, being married to our dad and trying to navigate the complicated family dynamics. In the end, I decided to try to move forward and focus on building a relationship with my half-sister. We've been texting and talking on the phone more, and I've been learning more about her life and her interests. It's still a bit awkward at times, but I'm hopeful that we can continue to grow closer. As for my dad, I'm still not sure how to feel about him. I'm angry at him for lying to my half-sister and for putting us all in this difficult situation, but I also know that holding on to that anger won't do me any good. I'm trying to focus on the things I can control, like my relationship with my half-sister and my own healing. Overall, it's been a challenging couple of weeks, but I feel like I've learned a lot about myself and my family. I'm grateful for the support and advice I've received from this community, and I'm hopeful that things will continue to get better. Thanks for reading and for being there for me during this difficult time. Am I the idiot for leaving my daughter on the bus to teach her a lesson about paying attention? I, 41-year-old female, have a 15-year-old daughter, let's call her Beth, with my husband. On the weekends after work during the week, we primarily use public transportation. Most of the time, Beth rides with us on the bus. She refuses to sit next to us, in normal teenage fashion, and prefers to sit as far away from us as possible. She also has a bad habit of putting earphones in and zoning out, not paying attention to our bus stop. So my husband and I have to squeeze through the packed bus and get her attention so she gets off the bus with us. We've had talks with her about how dangerous it is to be completely unaware of your surroundings, especially on a public bus. But she refuses to pay attention to the bus stops or sit closer to us so we can easily get her attention. Additionally, she has been asking us for more freedom. She wants to spend her paycheck on her own bus pass, which we are seriously considering for certain bus routes at certain times. However, we are hesitant due to the fact that she does not pay attention, which could easily become a problem. That brings us to Saturday when we got on the bus. Beth chose to sit in the very back while I sat at the front. The bus was unusually empty that day, and I got an idea. The next bus stop was the stop in front of our house, and I exited the bus. But Beth did not. She wasn't paying any attention. Immediately after, I booked it down the road to the next stop, the bus terminal, and met the bus there. I was prepared to board again to get her, but she exited. She was angry, saying that I had abandoned her on the bus and that she was terrified when she looked up and didn't see me there. I apologized for scaring her, but explained how dangerous it is to not pay any attention to what's going on around you. I told my husband at home, and he agreed that it was a justified lesson to teach. When Beth went to her grandparents' house, my parents, and told them and a few of my sisters about the incident, they called me a jerk. Our side? Beth wants her own city bus pass, but when we ride with her, we have issues getting her to pay attention and stick with us. I left her on the bus at the second-to-last stop of a bus route that I knew was guaranteed to stop at the terminal, and booked it there. She was not alone for more than 4 minutes on a bus that had very few people on it, and I was pretty confident she would get off at the stop, as it's our usual. This was a last resort after my husband and I have had several talks about being safe in public and being responsible. My daughter/parents/sister's side, I left my young daughter on a public bus by herself and did not tell her she was going to be alone. It was cruel to punish her by leaving. I should have resorted to other methods that did not involve me getting off the bus without her. Anything could have happened in the 4 minutes she was alone, and it was completely irresponsible to leave her. So, am I the idiot for leaving my 15-year-old daughter on the bus? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. It seems like I'm in the minority, but I think you're the jerk. YTA. You've established a routine where you always tell her to get off the bus. With no warning, you stopped doing that. Her experience is in paying attention to when you go to her to get off, not in watching her surroundings. If you don't think she's responsible enough for a bus pass, then teach her to be responsible enough. Beth, if you want your own bus pass, you have to show me that you can be independent and safe. Next time we ride the bus, I'm not going to tell you when to get off. You need to pay attention on your own. And try that a few times. Maybe if it's a 20-minute ride, teach her to set a timer for 16 minutes to stop listening to music and look around. Comment 2. 15 is a totally reasonable age to have your own bus pass, and you should absolutely get her one. I understand your concern about her lack of awareness, but that's exactly why she should start managing her own commute. She needs to learn how to manage herself, how to recognize her surroundings, and how to handle herself when she inevitably misses a stop or takes the wrong bus and ends up lost. I get the concern about safety, but honestly, if she can't be trusted sitting idle on a bus, then she sure as hell can't be trusted driving a car. Not the jerk, NTA. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, it's been a week since I posted about leaving my daughter Beth on the bus, and I wanted to give you all an update on what's been happening. First off, thank you for all your comments and insights. It's been a tough week, but your support has meant a lot to me. So after the bus incident, things were pretty tense at home. Beth was still upset with me, and my husband and I were trying to figure out the best way to move forward. We decided to have a family meeting to discuss the situation and come up with a plan. During the meeting, Beth opened up about why she always sits at the back of the bus. She told us that a few months ago, a man had been harassing her on the bus, making inappropriate comments and trying to sit next to her. She was too scared to tell us about it at the time, but since then, she's felt safer sitting at the back, away from other passengers. My heart broke hearing this. I had no idea she'd been dealing with something so scary on her own. We had a long talk about safety and the importance of telling us when something like that happens. I apologized for not creating a safe space for her to come to us with her problems. We also discussed the bus pass situation. Beth explained that she wanted more independence and the ability to go out with her friends without always relying on us for rides. We agreed to let her get her own bus pass, but with some conditions. She has to text us when she gets on and off the bus, and she can only use it during certain hours and on specific routes. Over the past week, we've been working on rebuilding trust and communication as a family. Beth has been more open with us about her feelings and experiences, and we've been making an effort to listen and support her. However, just when things were starting to improve, we hit another bump in the road. Yesterday, Beth came home from school in tears. She told us that some kids at school had found out about the bus incident and were spreading rumors about her being a bad kid and a troublemaker. She was devastated and felt like everyone was judging her. We had another family meeting to discuss how to handle the situation. We decided that I would reach out to the school counselor to see if they could help address the rumors and provide support for Beth. We also encouraged Beth to lean on her close friends and remind herself that she knows the truth about what happened. It's been a challenging week, but I'm hopeful that we're on the right track. We've learned a lot about communication, trust, and supporting each other as a family. Beth is still working on paying attention on the bus, but she's making an effort, and we're proud of her for that. Thank you again for all your support and advice. Parenting is a tough job, but it's a little easier knowing there's a community of people out there who understand the struggles and triumphs. Take care, everyone. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day!